I've spoken to hundreds, maybe thousands of people who were arrested for the very first time and had no idea what to expect. You might be thinking, I just want to go to trial. I want to clear my name. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the truth that no one is telling you. Trial is not the best way to clear your name. In fact, it's usually the last place that you want to be. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence criminal defense attorney, and I help people across California put their cases behind them so that they can move forward with their lives and enjoy their freedom. Every case is different, but for the clients who hired me and whose cases were resolved last year, 75% had their charges dropped entirely, and over 95% avoided a conviction. Okay, so let's jump right in why trial is a trap. Let's get some misconceptions out of the way really quick, and then we will get into what trial is actually like in a domestic violence criminal case. A lot of people think that their first date is going to be their trial. It is not. Others think that trial is how you prove that you didn't do anything wrong. And if that is what you are focused on, clearing your name, keeping your reputation, protecting your job, I get it. That makes total sense. But what most people don't understand is that trial is not designed to clear your name. It's not a clean, fair fight. It's not an opportunity to tell your story. In most cases, your attorney will actually advise you not to testify at all. Because if you do, it is very, very easy for the prosecutor to twist your words and make you look guilty, even if you're not. Honestly, if there were a criminal case filed against me, and I'm assuming I'm innocent in this example, I don't think I'd testify either. I know how risky it is, and most of the time, it is just not worth it. And if you end up getting found guilty at trial, that means that you have a conviction, and the judge sentences you. The judge can sentence you to, if it is PC 273.5A, as felony up to 4 years in state prison. Even if you avoid prison or jail, a conviction could cost you your job, your license, and your future in a matter of weeks. People also think, well, there's no evidence. It's just their word against mine. I've got a strong case. But here's what you need to understand. You can be convicted on the word of one person. There's a jury instruction, which the judge gives the jury at trial, that literally says, if you believe the testimony of one witness, that is enough to convict. That means no photos, no medical records, no third-party witnesses, and you can still lose. Think about what the jury sees. You, sitting in the defendant's chair. Most of them have never been arrested. You already look guilty to them just by being there. Then they hear from the alleged victim. Maybe that person is crying on the stand. Maybe they're not even against you anymore, but the DA plays the 911 call. Shows what they said the night of the arrest. Shows photos from when they were drunk or upset and have red, puffy eyes. It doesn't matter if those photos don't prove anything. It doesn't look good. And then the prosecution calls a domestic violence expert, usually a doctor, who talks about battered women syndrome. And if the alleged victim is now supporting you, they'll say that's a sign of serious abuse. So even when the alleged victim is on your side, the system is still against you at trial. Now, let's talk about the cost. A trial typically takes about 2 full weeks, maybe longer. That means that you are in court every day, morning to evening, and your attorney is working 100-hour weeks. Even if you paid a flat fee, that fee was based on the level of time, and preparing for trial, that takes even more time than the trial itself. So if you get quoted a really low trial fee, be careful, because that usually means that the attorney is just going to show up. They're not putting in the nights, weekends, or strategic prep. They're basically a warm body in the chair, and that is not how you win. Now, again, if you lose, you get sentenced by the judge, not a deal. Whatever offer you had before the trial is gone, and usually you get punished for going to trial. That's what we call the trial tax. It's not fair, but it's real. Judges don't like when people make them spend 2 weeks on a case that they think could have been resolved. So if trial isn't the way, then what is? Let me be clear. I'm with you. If I were arrested for domestic violence and my only options were a conviction or going to trial and risking jail, I would go to trial. I wouldn't accept something that's going to ruin my life. And you probably shouldn't either. The real goal is not to avoid classes or make this just go away quickly. The goal is to avoid a conviction or anything. And that takes strategy. That takes starting early. That takes being proactive. Ideally, you hire an attorney before your first court date. Someone who handles domestic violence cases exclusively or almost, not a general criminal defense attorney. That attorney contacts the DA's office, pushes to get the case dropped before it's ever filed. And if that works, that is the best case scenario. No court, no charges, no stress. That is what actually clears your name. And if the case gets filed, your attorney should have a plan. They should give you proactive steps, like classes, like therapy, like character letters, depending on your case. Each of those tells the DA, you are not a threat. You are taking this seriously. You are horrified to have been arrested. At the same time, they should be challenging the evidence, filing motions, negotiating hard, and showing the DA how much work it is going to take to prosecute you. The goal is to avoid any kind of permanent record, not just getting the charge reduced, A battery conviction, which a lot of attorneys try to reduce the charge to, is still a misdemeanor conviction, and that stays on your record forever. You want to be able to say the case was so weak, it got dropped, never even made it to court. That is what clears your name. That is power. So if you are sitting there thinking that trial is your chance to prove your innocence, I hope you understand now. It's not the best way. If you are serious about protecting your job, your reputation, your future, you need a strategy that gives you the highest chance of success with the lowest risk. If you want to talk strategy before your court date, call my office. Even if charges have not been filed yet, you can find our number down below. You can also book a consultation via the Calendly link there. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and if you have a question or comment, leave it in the comments.